No one expected Piers Morgan to do what he allegedly did on live television, not his viewers, not his critics, and certainly not the team managing Meghan Markle's carefully curated public image. According to sources, during his broadcast, Morgan didn't simply launch into his usual criticisms of Meghan. This time, he reportedly presented what observers described as receipts photos supposedly deleted from the internet years ago. Images that some claim were deliberately hidden. These weren't snapshots from her royal engagements or Hollywood red carpets, but rather alleged glimpses of her Soho House days, private parties, exclusive gatherings, and late-night events that Meghan has never publicly discussed. Viewers who saw the images reportedly reacted with shock, noting that this was not the Meghan Markle portrayed in public narratives, a sweet, hardworking actress who supposedly stumbled into royal life by fate. Instead, the photos allegedly depicted a different side, a Meghan who was already strategically positioned in spaces where influential men could see her. The biggest question, observers say, is why these images were concealed for so long. The contrast is stark. The public knows Meghan through polished interviews and soft-focus documentaries, hearing stories of her modest upbringing, her rise in acting, her humanitarian ambitions, and a seemingly ordinary lifestyle. But the alleged Soho House photos tell another story, one of Meghan moving comfortably within elite circles, interacting with wealthy and powerful men in spaces inaccessible to most, including many household name celebrities. If these depictions are accurate, they suggest a side of Meghan that her public narrative omits, raising questions not about what she did, but why she wanted it erased. Understanding this requires knowing what Soho House represents. An exclusive, members-only network where entry is tightly controlled, favoring discretion and avoiding drama. Yet, according to reports, Meghan, then a relatively minor cable actress, allegedly gained access to multiple locations in London, Toronto, New York, and beyond, not merely as a visitor, but seemingly integrated into these elite circles, hinting at a background in social navigation that contrasts sharply with the image the public has been presented in her memoir. Meghan called Soho House her headquarters. She kept luggage there, knew the staff, and moved through its buildings with the ease of someone who truly belonged. Even global icons like Kim Kardashian and Kobe Bryant were famously turned away from membership, yet Meghan reportedly walked in without obstacle. That detail alone cracks the story wide open. Soho House isn't a place where anyone can simply drop in. Entry requires someone to vouch for you, someone to open the door, to say you belong. And that question, who opened the door for Meghan Markle, links the alleged photos, the power circles, and her hidden past into a single narrative. Because no one enters Soho House without influence or wealth by chance. Entry comes only when someone powerful wants you there. The figure who connects all the dots appears repeatedly in whispers and in photographs, always alongside Meghan like a shadow that never fades. Marcus Anderson. To understand her sudden access to elite social circles, one must understand Marcus, not merely a friend or casual acquaintance, but the global membership director of Soho House, the man who decided who entered those hidden rooms and who remained outside forever. Sources familiar with the network describe him as the gatekeeper for the world's most powerful people, arranging introductions, granting exposure to billionaires and industry giants, a role that required trust from the world's hidden movers and shakers. And Meghan didn't just know Marcus. He allegedly followed her from Los Angeles to Toronto, New York, London, and California, city after city, not casually but with an intention that made their connection unmistakable. Observers describe Meghan's connections as deliberate, strategic, and unusually tight. Friendships don't typically work that way. Executives with major responsibilities don't uproot their lives just to remain close to a cable show actress, unless the relationship was far from ordinary, unless his role in her life was more than simple friendship. Adding to that, long-standing claims that Marcus Anderson introduced Meghan to Prince Harry make the pieces begin to fit together. Her rise wasn't sudden or chaotic. It was steady, placed, guided the kind of ascent that rarely happens alone. But the story extends beyond Soho House into an even quieter, more exclusive world. Private yachts, luxury gatherings, and elite men who prefer their social events away from cameras. A man named Christopher Jones reportedly worked the yacht circuit at the same time Meghan allegedly did, with their paths overlapping in these high-end settings. Not every yacht story is inherently scandalous. Some attend to network, make industry contacts, or simply enjoy being seen, but the significance lies in the pattern. Across Soho House, the yacht circuit, and other elite spaces, Meghan consistently appears in circles far above her income level, allegedly photographed around wealthy older men, and closely connected to a director who managed access to the world's most powerful social spheres. Each element reinforces the picture of a carefully navigated, meticulously constructed rise into influence. Viewed in this context, Meghan's social positioning before meeting Prince Harry begins to look less like luck and more like a calculated ascent. Authors who study celebrity yacht networks have described a system in which rising actresses cultivate upward relationships that can alter their careers, and Meghan's name has surfaced in that context multiple times. While some yacht photos circulating online were later proven to depict other women, the broader network itself is real, and Meghan's documented ties to that world have continually fueled questions. Repeated questions, after all, usually persist for a reason. One of the most telling moments in this story comes from Meghan's renowned protectiveness over her image. She has sued newspapers, filed complaints against TV hosts, demanded corrections and retractions, and rarely lets potentially damaging stories slide. Yet, according to sources, when Piers Morgan allegedly displayed the Soho House photos on television, something unusual happened. There was no denial, no statement, no lawyer's letter, no threat of legal action. For someone so image-conscious, the silence was striking. Normally, a public figure acts quickly and forcefully to challenge false claims. But in this case, the absence of a response raises a different question. Was the silence strategic, or did it suggest that contesting the images would only draw more attention to something she preferred remained hidden? In that quiet, unexplained response, or lack thereof, the story shifts from rumor to something more revealing. For the first time, the past she allegedly tried to erase seemed to step from the shadows, impossible to fully conceal. Long before royal drama, Oprah interviews, documentaries, and podcasts, Meghan Markle met Piers Morgan for a simple drink-in. 2016, a friendly chat lasting over an hour, during which Morgan believed they were forming a genuine connection. What began as a seemingly innocent meeting between Meghan Markle and Piers Morgan in 2016, a friendly drink. A conversation lasting over an hour, perhaps even the start of a professional friendship or mentor-like bond, quickly took a dramatic turn. The very next evening, Meghan reportedly went straight to Soho House, dined with Prince Harry, and vanished from Piers's world without a word. No message, no explanation, no thank you, only silence. For most, being ghosted is a minor annoyance, but for Morgan, it became personal. Shortly afterward, Meghan became global news. Her relationship with Harry went public, the palace confirmed their romance, and Piers realized he had been cut off the moment she met someone more significant. That escalation continued through the Oprah interview. Piers's public criticisms, the backlash that forced him off his own show live on television, and even Meghan reporting him to ITV, which contributed to him never returning. So when he allegedly aired the Soho House photos years later, it wasn't just a random attack. It was the culmination of a long-held grievance, a chance to present what he saw as proof that Meghan wasn't the person she publicly claimed to be. Once the photos, her access, her networks, the introductions, and her silence are considered together, a pattern emerges. One that looks deliberate, calculated, and strategically crafted. Sources suggest Meghan studied people and environments carefully, adapting her persona to fit wherever she went: elite social circles, royal circles, even modeling parts of her behavior after Princess Diana. This pattern makes the alleged Soho House photos so striking. They hint that her rise did not begin with Harry or the palace, but years earlier, in private rooms, exclusive networks, and quiet introductions she never publicly acknowledged. Every fairy tale has two sides: the polished story presented to the world, full of hope and destiny, and the hidden story shaped by choices, relationships, and secrets. Meghan's public narrative has always been the former the actress who found love with a prince, the outsider who stepped into royalty. But the alleged photos suggest the latter existed all along, a version built long before Harry, supported by people the public has never seen, in places she has never explained. If true, the fairy tale begins to wobble not because of rumor, but because the life she presented may not fully match the life she lived. The question shifts from whether the photos matter to what they represent. If these networks and connections were part of her world long before royalty, what else remains hidden behind the curtain? The fairy tale isn't over, but the stage lights are shifting, and the truth, whatever shape it takes, is stepping forward piece by piece, photograph by photograph, moment by moment, and once revealed, it cannot be fully returned to darkness.